Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome to another episode in our Quantum Conversation Summit Series Timelines, creating the highest benevolent outcome. And my guest today is a beautiful soul, a beautiful light worker, spiritual teacher, and healer who's going to share on the new time that we're in, that we are entering a new time, and it's absolutely time to make responsible choices. Barbara Canals is with us today, and we're so excited to meet her and to take this journey together. Hi, Barbara. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Lauren. Thank you for having me. And hello, everyone listening. It's my pleasure.
We always love talking with you and seeing your insight. Your wisdom gives us so much hope in the world because you're a young light worker and you're so experienced. And that is what gives us hope, because these younger generations coming in actually already get this. And so that, again, is why we are so hopeful. So when we're talking about timelines and the new time that we're entering, can you share with us what a timeline is in your definition and what needs to be done when we're talking about collapsing timelines, bringing in higher timelines? In an overall nutshell, what do you think is happening here? And how do we navigate this?
Okay, so timelines are, imagine you're set in a place, right? And then all of a sudden, this is how I see it. It's a lot like we live in a simulation, let's say, or in a video game sort of thing. So you're like an avatar in the video game, and all of a sudden you're like placed in a position, and then you have so many paths to take, so many possibilities and paths, right? Or doors to open or windows to open. And so a timeline is taking one of those paths, opening one of those doors or one of those windows. So what timelines give us, obviously there's a limited number of timelines. Timelines are potentials. There's those a limited number. So how do we choose a timeline? It's by choosing. So the more aware we are, the more conscious we are of who we are, our own energy, what we came here to do, the more possibility we have to open doors that are going to open up to something with a higher potential, let's say. So open up to something more beautiful, of a higher frequency than other things. So for example, if you're standing in a certain place and you're in a space of fear, of trauma, of sort of like being blocked, most likely the doors or the potentials that you're going to see are going to be quite dark, and you're going to step into doors that are like heavier and maybe not that good. There's no good or bad, it's just experiences, but it'll be tougher things, right? Whereas you can open doors if you're in a more in a place of more wholeness, of more integrity within yourself, of more clarity, because in the end it's this clarity of who you are, of your truth, of your energy. You'll open doors to things that are not necessarily easy, because they won't be easy, but of a higher frequency.
Yes.
So basically,
Yes.
timelines are sort of like, it's this video game. You see yourself in this video game. You can open you can go into levels where it's like dark in the dungeons, or you can go into levels where it's like more like you're jumping through like grass places, and things flow easily, and And yeah, you're still going through levels. There's still going to be like things that can be difficult, but you just see it in a much more um, amazing way.
So then, I think we've been sharing on this program that many of us, or many in the collective, are creating timelines, but they're totally unaware of the fact that they're creating timelines. And there's a sense of a victimhood. So it really means that we need to be very responsible. We need to be responsible with our choices, as the title of this program is. And we also have to be in the heart. Can you share like how we would then, and it's all about feeling, right? So when we're looking at something that we don't like in our life and we want to change that, would you say that that's changing a timeline right there? If we don't like something in our life, because we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to collapse that timeline, or
Mm-hmm.
we're or at least using our senses to say this does not feel right. So how would you say our feelings and our thoughts and our emotions relate to timelines? How are they related?
Yeah. So we're always choosing awarely or unawarely, as you're saying, and we can choose. The more aware we are, which awareness is the same as having more consciousness, which is being able to realize our thoughts and emotions and feelings. So if we have like our blinkers on, if we have certain belief systems, which is, for example, belief systems of, I don't know, I can't, I'm not good enough, I'm a fool, I'm this, I'm that. And you have, and connected to those belief systems, you're probably going to have the emotional baggage in your book, the emotional body stuck, baggage stuck in your body. So like emotions being stuck that are, and all of this is like a cage, like a limitation. So then you're going to be choosing according to that. But if things are flowing within you, if you've done the work, if you have less beliefs, that belief structure, that conditioning that we come with, that we think we're a certain thing, and if you have less of that, if you've like sort of like taken it out of your whole body, of your energy system, of your aura, you have like less karma and everything else, then you become much more aware. Or even you might have those thoughts, but you're aware of having those thoughts. So many people have like so many thoughts going on or emotions happening in their body and they're not aware. So that unconsciousness is choosing for them.
Yep, the unconsciousness is choosing for us. And so as we become aware, then, as you said, being clear on who we are and being aware really helps us with our energy. So let's talk about energy now, because this is a big part of the cleanup work that we have to do, the inner work. It all comes down to energy healing in a way, right? So how do we how do we clear belief systems? How do we clear our energy, clean up our energy? This is a big part of the work that you do on the planet.
Mm,
So what do you begin to do when you're working with clients? What do you see as
yeah.
a big problem right now?
Um, so um, I think um, an issue that is happening is not taking responsibility for the stuff. We need to take responsibility for ourselves and our energy. We can only do that. So, like in the moment that um, we're not looking at ourselves and the trauma that we have in ourselves, our cellular imprinting, our cellular memories that might be really hard, but instead blaming out there the things that like are happening, there's an issue there. Because we have to understand that we are the planet, we are somebody else, we are the universe. So the healing starts within one person, like person by person, within oneself. So if we are, for example, have feelings of jealousy, shame, anger, and or thoughts of like these thoughts of like I'm not good enough. All these things, or there's not enough for me because there's a scarcity mentality, and then we have competition. These are imprintings that every single person in humanity has, right? So the work that we have to do now in the real issue is working with oneself to change this, because when you change that within yourself, because you come to a place to realize that you are divine and that you're perfect, and that these things are conditionings. It's not something to be shameful about and to hide and suppress and not want to look at, which would be the shadow, right, of ourselves. But it's like, okay, no, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to start shifting it. And thankfully, where we are now in our evolution, it's very we can do the shifting of and transmuting of these emotions really quickly. So it's the real thing is taking responsibility for these emotions, looking at them and transform, and just like letting them go. Transform, it's just like allowing for it's only energy, because everything is energy. So allowing for that energy to shift, to transform, and to release. Then you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel more aligned. You're going to be able to know what choices you're making. And but it's looking at those things. I think a lot of people are, it's not out of badness, it's out of shame and unawareness of the shame of feeling like they're not good enough. And if you have these feelings, these are feelings and, well, or emotions and thoughts that have not been allowed. There's like something wrong with me. And so you suppress them. But that is the same thing that is creating all the bad stuff in your life and the unawareness. So, sometimes we all want to bring love and light into the planet, but the love and light is not at the point where we are, not of much use unless we do the real work, which is dealing with these emotions that we have, which there's no shame about. Like I if I get competitive or I get like, I'll sit down with myself and I'll be like, okay, where's this coming from? Why? How do I clear it? What do I do? Or if I have any sort of emotions that are way too out of balance. So the real work that we're doing now to be able to choose like our to choose with awareness, the best timelines that we evolve is from a place of balance, of coherence, of self-love.
Yes. So what we're doing then is we're we're becoming excited for the triggers. Like you say, when you notice that within yourself, those are triggers. And so some of us would just allow ourselves to go deeper in the trigger, down that rabbit hole, right? Deeper into the energy of it. Whereas what you're saying is we need to be very aware and stop it
Mm-hmm.
and deal with the trigger. So it's almost like we have to be excited to have those feelings. And that's a little shift in our perspective or our perspective, because so many times we tend to want to bypass those feelings like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a light worker. I shouldn't be feeling angry or jealous or right or sad or depressed. I shouldn't feel that way. So then when we do notice the trigger, can you share with us how we track it and trace it and then transmute it? What's that process like?
Yeah. First of all, the moment that those that we transmute that energy, there's going to be more space in our system for our spirit or our higher self to ground in. So instead of being like floating around, sort of like being love and light, and then you're like floating around without being grounded, you start to become grounded. And you're like to notice what is going on. I think it is really starting to identify in our body, to start like coming into contact with our body, because many people are not, out of like, there's been so much pain in society that sometimes we don't want to feel these things, right? So it is taking the first step, the first choice, the first responsibility. It is choosing a timeline, this in itself, it's taking the choice to want to start feeling these things and noticing them. So it's going in and saying, so like the very simple exercise for transmuting this energy is, imagine you're like, be it physical pain, like you have a headache, or it's an emotion. For example, I feel anger. And then you go into, where do I feel anger? I feel anger, let's say in my here, like boiling up in my heart. Okay, you hold that anger. You start maybe even imagining what that anger looks like, what it feels like, give it like more power so that you increment. We're scared about these emotions. So you have to make them, you have to give them the energy that it actually entails, So like, you're like, okay, I feel this anger, and it gets bigger, and you feel the intensity of this anger, and you're like, okay, I feel anger again. I feel, you're building that up. Or be it, even if it were a headache, I feel this headache. I feel a headache, and give it more power to the thing, and to a certain place where when you feel it strong enough, you're gonna start accepting it, because accepting is everything in this. So it's like, okay, and then all of a sudden you can shift. You'll realize that you can sit with it. So I accept this anger. Let's say I accept this anger. You're like, okay, I'm okay with this anger. And little by little, you're forgiving this anger. I forgive this anger. And I love this anger. And you'll start seeing how this energy starts shifting. And I was doing it as we were doing it. And it's like, things start dispersing. That energy starts shifting. So it's like, you have to go into these places. You don't have to stay long, but you have to actually feel it. And then the energy moves really quick. So you feel it, you intensify it, then you accept it. You forgive it. You're forgiving yourself, you forgive it, you love it, and you let it go. And it just, the more you do it and the more you work with yourself in that way, the more the faster it'll be. The faster it is also, the higher frequency you go into.
Yes, that's so beautiful, because as you were sharing that, we can say that most of us tend to skirt that feeling it. Like when we start to feel it, we'll tend to bypass it. So that's the important step, is to feel it and intensify it. I can say many people are pretty leery or not really looking forward to intensifying it, especially with some of these deep emotions. But just to feel it and then to accept it and say, yes, it's okay, and that there's nothing wrong. I love that. And
Yeah,
another
but you have
important
to
point.
feel it, because sometimes you see, Lauren, it's like, oh yeah, 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 it's there. And
Yeah,
then, and then it's not resolved. It's there. So
it's there.
but it has to be felt, because it's like, okay, yeah, like I'm taking it with me, and I'm gonna deal with this, and I'm gonna shift this energy, transmute it, shift it, so that it, everything is energy, so it just has to change its form. It's
And
like, it's an ice that is going to melt and become water, and then it's going to become air. So it's that.
and there's no need to really get too mental on the process and figure out where it came from, exactly where it came from. That may be a nice byproduct of the work. For example, when I do stuff like this, I tend to start to see that it's genetics. Like we can say, wow, it's certainly not me, but this was something in my ancestral line.
Yes.
So
And when
we're
I
not
work with
looking,
people one on one, their consciousness might tell me, their subconscious, go and pinpoint, find an exact date, and I'll find the exact date, the
wow,
exact person, why it happened, and it, because they need to, that for some reason their system to click needs that.
wow.
But but that's work that yeah, that sometimes it's that, but sometimes you don't. If you're on your own and you're not working with somebody, then that's the best way you can do. The same way as if there's trauma and there's stress and whatever, it's to go down and maybe you can, all the work that you can do with the inner child. So it's like, okay, contacting, go into without having somebody to guide you, you can go into like, where did this start, and and then you can see your little child, yourself as an inner child, as a, like I'll see myself, I could see myself as Barbara as a 3-year-old, and all curled up. Maybe you get an image and we all feel different in sense, but like curled up like that. And then what do? I go to her and I'm like, I'll speak to her. How are you doing? What's happening? And from that, let it unfold. You're working with the not the rational mind, but the quantum sort of like mind of your whole consciousness, where there's no time, there's no space. So you're going back to that and you're holding your little child. Hold as much as you can. Oh, and that'll shift things as well.
See, that's so amazing because we're talking about timelines, but only on Earth is there a timeline. In the quantum, there is no time. And so if everything is energy and we create traumas in our life that are like nodes of these that become trigger points later in our life, then wow, we can heal everything from, it's almost like we're becoming time travelers.
Mm-hmm.
We can by taking a new perspective, then taking a new perspective on that 3-year-old Barbara, and that actually is changing the story. So we can literally rewrite the story. That's heavy duty work, in my opinion. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about rewriting or the subconscious mind, because the
One second.
subconscious mind
Like
gets,
one, can I say something about like that with like, and then we come
yeah,
into this earth. We've come in up until
yes,
if you were born before 96, you came into this earth having karma. So at this point, when, in this existence now, it's like we don't have to go into like, necessarily into different like um lives and stuff like that, because we came into this earth now to transmute all the karma that we were. So like we're basically we're at a stage where like all karma has to be sort of like released, because we're going into, it was like soul based is with karma, sort of like a platform of consciousness, and we're going to another platform of consciousness with spirit based. And so you don't actually have all those ties with karma. So you've come here now, so whatever that happened to you when you were small that might be really heavy and everything else, it's stuff that obviously is karmic, but you don't have to go back to like past lives and everything else to heal it. You have it in your cellular memory in every one of your cells. So in your life here now, you're transmuting all that karma. You're healing that karma. You're changing it, so that you no longer have karmic ties.
and it seems that timelines, as we create timelines, we're creating karma, but not anymore, not with the new time. So as you said, those born before
The
96.
karma in the new time is instant. So, which means that you
Ah,
won't like forget about it. You do something that's not like in accordance with your truth, with the truth of your heart, with her coherence. So, and then you'll get something in like straight away that you'll know, oh, I did that. Now I'm getting the result of that. And yeah. So then you know how to you know how to behave better the next really soon after.
yes.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
not like you forget, you'll see. So if I go and, I don't know, decide to steal, I'll probably get a byproduct of that really quick. So it's teaching, so you don't forget the lesson, you have the lesson right there.
Wow. Okay.
Um,
Or if
yeah.
we let our emotions get ahead of us or out of control, then we can use some of the tools in this instant to transmute it, right? The violet flame, the Ho'oponopono, those sorts of things, we'll be able to correct it, course correct. Yeah. Okay. So share with us more about this new time and the frequencies. What do you know about this?
Um, we're just, it's part of our natural evolution that we are anchoring, what you could say, like heaven on earth or spirit into our bodies. So as we evolve in our consciousness, as we go into higher frequencies, and as our universe starts shifting as well, because our planet is shifting, but our planet is accelerating in frequency because it's joining other 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 um, galaxies and everything else, or soon we'll be connected to other galaxies. So for that to happen, our energy, each one of us, our energy has to raise into higher frequency. So in order to do this, we need to become clear our bodies of the imprinting, so of all the trauma we carry, and be it karmic trauma or any all types of trauma, collective trauma and everything, generational, ancestral. So clear that so we can ground our spirit, which is actually so more of our which is actually our illimited potential. It's our consciousness. It is so it's another, you're stepping into another platform of consciousness. When you step into that, you're stepping into more potentials, which into new timelines, right? So the more and I just call this limited potential, like how I feel it, this yeah, just like our consciousness potential, our spirit, everything else. I just call it the truth. It's source. It's the truth of who we are. It's our spirit. And so this has been happening since, I mean, has been happening since the history of humanity, until we went down to it's a descending process and then an ascending process. So it's been happening for, so long, but in as I said, when I said if you were born before 96 and whatever, so the process accelerated. First, there was an acceleration in 96, and that was the start. So basically from spirit, from source, we were going in source perspective quite slow to keep on this whole project of like unification of the universe. So the indigo children started coming in, right? They came with a much more energy, with a higher frequency, and with more consciousness potential. And then new children started coming in with more power, with more energy. In 2012, so in between this, the indigo, then the crystal children started coming in, and then the golden children, or the crystal golden children, in 2012, which 2012 was the start of the golden age. And yeah, and things accelerated very quick. That's why I'm saying, and we can just see it. We can see like how much people are talking about like how of anything that is conscious, like taking care of the body, or taking, I don't know, they're into spirituality stuff when before maybe it wasn't that much. It's like a more mainstream thing that has accelerated very quickly in maybe, I don't know, in the last 20 years especially. It's just been and then when you work with energy and you're transmuting energy and healing energy, like I remember before it was a massive shift, like from after 2012, it was like, or 2011, 2012, around that, it was just like, after 2012, it was just like the way like you would heal, was the energy was just working so much quicker. And then now it's just insane. You don't actually, like, it's very quick, those processes of healing. Like before you had to feel it out more, everything was very entangled. So there was like, it was just like, it's hard to explain this, but it just like, it was like this ball, one of those balls of rubber that are like super entangled. So it was sort of like that. And so it was really hard to see what was sort of like to peel and get to the core of things. Now it's sort of like it just opens up, and you just get to the core really easily, which is beautiful, because more of us have to hold on to more energy. And so what's happening, and this is not like a something to make um people fearful at all, but like if it's just part of our evolution is when people are not ready to be within this transition. So like if their body's too dense, um and can't hold the higher frequencies that are coming in, they will they will transition. So they'll pass away and then they'll come in, with the new energy. And these new frequencies are the indigo. Well, the indigo is sort of like scaling out because but like it's the crystal energy, and which is, yeah, the energy of spirit. And so there's like evolution. There's like the crystal energy that came from Venus and the crystal energy from the Pleiades, and it just that's how we evolve.
It's
So
fast.
our work, in a nutshell, that's really big, but in a nutshell, is our work now is to heal in our bodies, to heal because nothing is out. I mean, when we heal within our bodies, within ourselves, our own trauma, we'll be healing the world because we are part of it. So we need to take responsibility of ourselves, and then little by little, that responsibility of ourselves, like, so I had to do the work and heal myself to be able to now work with other people and speak and share. And those people that will come, and you sort of like pass on the baton, and then other people go and heal. And usually also what is key is like if you heal from whatever thing you have in whatever trauma, you'll find your people that or the issues that you have to work to make this world a better place.
Yes, okay, that is comforting that it's getting easier. It's getting easier for us to move through that energy. Although I can sense that some would say, no, it's not. Or that, yes, it does get easier. We get better at it. And so there's also something about when we feel a feeling within ourselves and we know it's not us,
Mm-hmm.
or we're sad, like we're really sad about what's happening in the world, for example,
Mm-hmm.
then that is an opportunity to heal for the collective, right? Because we can neutralize that energy. We are all one. So does that make sense to you that we are then becoming transmuters for the collective? If we say, oh, I'm feeling this anger because the environment's not being treated well, or there's things happening in the world that don't make me feel right, and it's not in my reality, but I can sense that it's coming from the collective. So we can heal that on behalf of the collective, right? What do we
Yeah.
do? Do we take it to 0 point, or we just do in the process that you shared with us, that process? But we need to know and recognize that we're doing it for the collective. So that's
Mm-hmm.
powerful work for light workers to engage and embark on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think um there's also a part that we have to bring things to action. So you can do it for the collective. I would say you transmute that what you're feeling within your. So for example, you're really, what was the imagine you're really disappointed with what's going on with the environment, and like people cutting down trees or whatever.
Yes.
So just to transmute it, like feel it so much from the collective and stuff like that, doesn't really actually benefit you, I would say. The collective is very powerful and there's a lot of energy there and can bring you down. So I would say do it for yourself. So look, okay, what am I feeling? Oh my God, yes, I'm feeling like all this anger. It's so anger, the other side of anger is passion. It's drive. It's strength. So you feel that, you transmute that within yourself. You're not doing it for the collective. You're doing it for whatever you're feeling inside, which obviously is part of the collective, but don't go that far because it'll take you, it'll overwhelm you. So it's like, okay, I feel this. And then look for a cause that you can do. Something, because that anger, which becomes power and drive and energy, needs to be released some way. If not, it's going to consume you as well. So go and find a cause where you can help to plant trees, or if you want to speak be a spokesperson for whatever, or if you want to do, anything, or sign petitions, anything that like is gonna um move that energy to make you feel better. And doing that, you know, doesn't matter how big or how small it is gonna have an impact. And you might not see, like, the thing is, we have this mind, we've been programmed to want results straight away, to not be able to see like in a more expanded, further way. Like, I work with people individually, one by one, with certain things that I do in person, one by one. It's like, I don't think about what I've only done with that person. I think that person is going to have an impact with so many other people in their communities, in their families, and so I don't, it would be so limiting to think this is only stops there. But I also know I can't do so, reach so many people. So you have to keep both, I guess it's an expanded consciousness way of seeing it. It's like both perspectives. Even though you might do something really small, it might have a really big impact in the whole in the future, and vice versa. But yeah, it's like, do something about it, because the energy of not doing anything is going to consume you as well.
Very good point. And I love that, because if we're feeling angry or an emotion over something that's outside of us, that is in the collective, then that's still within us. So I love how you said that, deal with that energy within us and know that it makes a big ripple for the collective. We've heard this time and time again, how it really does, when we do this work inner wise, it really does help the
Yeah.
collective.
Yeah.
In,
Well, when
yeah.
you do it inner wise, but then you take the action, and that empowers you too. So that action, because many times with this, with the whole um spirituality and meditating and stuff, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and I'll do the, but then we don't take the action.
Yes, right.
That's the action is what makes a difference in this world. Yes, we can be working on the quantum and everything and having an impact, but
Mm-hmm.
the results, we need to do it. It's like, for me, if I wouldn't end up like speaking, it's I could deal with, I deal with like my insecurity about speaking out, of like, at the beginning when I would speak, and and it's like, but if I don't do it, it all stays so internal. I'm not expressing. To me, it's very important that people understand this message, that they are able to find hope in whatever thing I say, that they're able to understand that I'm only a reflection of them, or and that they can, to people, to understand that they can heal, that we're going through this transformation in our evolution, that they can probably, if they, I don't know, whatever gifts, that they have certain gifts that they're gonna need to use, and that they're called to use, you know but it's of no sense if I deal with my insecurities and I don't speak. Then it doesn't do anything. I take that, I deal with my insecurity, and then I go out and speak wherever I can and share. And yeah, and that's what makes the difference, right?
Yes. And so we overcome those insecurities. Okay. Well, you work one-on-one with people and help them identify subconscious blocks and things like this so that they can step more into their power. So let's talk about that. And you are welcome to use me as a guinea pig, since this is our program, you and I together. Do you want to do a mini process with me so that people can see what it is that you do in a session? I know that they're totally unique for everybody, but what are your thoughts on that? Or we can do a meditation.
Mm, okay, so I, instead of doing a mini process on you, because I can explain how it is when I do one-on-one, and then I can do an energy transmission, sort of, maybe, but I'll
Okay.
explain. So basically,
Yes.
when I work with, so like basically our system, so our body and our energy system, which is our energy field, or is so our aura is like a biocomputer, right? So I would say what I do is, with the permission of the person, I'll access the 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 biocomputer. So I'll access the subconsciousness of the person, right? And then start asking that subconscious, like what, so if people come with me, it might be a physical issue, it might be emotional issues, it might, like, or like things aren't working in their life, etc. So we'll start asking, like, okay, why is this happening? And then I'm like, when you get a remote, a programmer that goes in remotely into your computer and starts reprogramming and fixing things. So I do that same thing, but with us. So the system, the subconscious, which knows everything, is going to start saying, like, and I have this map of our whole system, of all our organs, our glands, the different energies of emotions, of, but everything, our systems. So for example, the digestive system, everything, and go in, and it's like, start asking, okay, where is there an imbalance, or where is there a blockage? And it'll take us to that place. And usually, imagine it takes us to an organ. That organ is going to be feeling the frequency of whatever emotion. So like most, I would say like 90% of issues end up having an emotional, if not, I would say 90, if not all, have an emotional blockage in the end. So it'll take us in the end to like an emotion, and so in this way, we start being able to clear the blockages or imbalances in the body. And in one session, we'll do like, I don't know, whatever the system can take, but it's about like 10 or whatever. So it's like, imagine you're like a garden. And so I go in and we're start to picking the weeds, things that are, that are not good, that are not pretty, and that your system is ready to release. So those start coming out. And then when you pull those out, your energy can start coming into alignment, which is what it's all about. So like, as it could also be seen, an example is like, we're this river of energy. And throughout our life, there's been rocks that have been falling in that have stopped the flow of that energy and the clarity of, so like the river was before like crystal clear water. That's when you're born, crystal clear. And then there's like traumas and things that we do to our body, even like pain, because sometimes we hit our body and that pain stays blocked within the cellular memory of our system. And then under there's the emotion of the moment, maybe there's like fear of the moment or whatever, that you hit that cell. So all of those are like rocks that have been put into place. So the water gets murkier every time. Then there's streams that go out another way. So then you don't have all your energy with you. So what we're doing is pulling out those rocks, and redirecting all the energy back. And then you're flowing much better. When you flow all naturally, you obviously start coming into well-being. You start feeling better. You start feeling more joyful. You start feeling more open. And yeah. So many of the things that we might pull out, as I said, like sometimes the subconscious mind is very direct, doesn't need much information. Sometimes it does, and it'll say, like, for example, it'll take us to a time frame. And then I'm like, what was going on when you were 7? And the person has all the, so I think it's very important that we take responsibility for finding the things ourselves. So I don't tell people, when you were 7, this was happening to you. It's like the person that is going to say like, oh yeah. And then all the memory starts resurfacing. Oh yeah, my parents were getting divorced, or I was like this and that, and maybe they're 60, but that event there had an impact. And then the energy can just be shifted so quickly in 2 seconds. It just takes, because the subconscious is guiding you to go to those places. So it's like ready to be healed, transformed, and yeah, so that's how it is. But basically, we're like these biocomputers, all the information is in our body, in our system. We don't have to go to the stars to get it. I don't think we're actually asked that much at the moment to go very far out. It's about coming into our body, because as our cells start crystallizing, as we rise in frequency or start crystallizing, that's where our truth is coming out and the whole plan is coming out. You know, it doesn't come out from anywhere else. Then when I do, so that's what I do in one-on-one sessions. Then when I do the energy transmissions, like the sound, the divine love language, that is just high frequency energy, these new time energies that come through my voice. And what it's doing, it's sort of the same, it's sort of the same, but it's just like cleaning out the body from imprinting and conditioning that is no longer necessary. So it's just like a sort of like something, it just lifts things. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. Well, before we do a little mini energy transmission, that's so
Mhm.
lovely. I just wanted to tell all of our viewers and listeners that the personal sessions with you, I want to call you a flow master
Mm.
because you really do assist in the flow, in the alignment. And that's so beautiful. You are eliminating the blockages that the subconscious mind is holding. And the subconscious mind is simply doing its job. We just have to access it. So you are a subconscious flow master for the subconscious mind. And
Mhm.
that information on how to access a personal session with you is on this webpage, and people can check that out and work with you directly. It's really wonderful. Thank you for offering these personal sessions and working with people and really assisting at this time. I want to just say that isn't it fascinating that you have discovered that in the energy, it's our distortion of the energy that causes dis-ease, right? Ill at ease and physical symptoms as well if we don't deal with it. Your clients that you've dealt with, have you seen healings on the physical level because of this emotional cleanup job that's going on?
Yeah. Yeah. I see a lot. Like either they come, it's either a byproduct, so either they come with the actual physical issue and then, you know, they'll have, and we'll work on that physical issue per se, or maybe they come for something else and then they have the physical stuff that we weren't working on results in a healing also. But yeah, there's a lot. I work like it, and with people and also with animals because they have the same, you know, and kids.
Yeah,
And
okay.
even with like sometimes like allergies and stuff like that, it could be really quick results as well with even things that are like, you know, dyslexias or ADHDs and all this stuff as well can be shifted and made much better, you know, like learning disabilities and things like that. I don't know, with
Okay,
anything. Basically, we have to think
great.
in this way, like that we are energy. So now we're at a point in time when like when we that's what energy medicine is, that we don't actually need to be in physical or working necessarily on the physical body directly for healing physical ailments, but if we work on the energy, it will have an impact on that physical body because the physical body is also energy. So when I work on people, like I'll see their physical structure, even with, you know, their physical structure, their actual body shift, you know,
Mhm.
so come into alignment, realign itself, go straight, their hips or like whatever realign. I've seen it's like they grow, you know, in a certain way. Their physicality, their jaw or whatever could also realign. Many of us, you know, as we have like these distortions within our life, there's distortions in our physicality. So it's like, okay, everything starts coming into shifting slightly. And it's amazing. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's incredible.
It's really helpful for people on our planet going through all kinds of things, like you said, ADHD and all of this, the young kids that need assistance, stepping into their alignment and their light. And, it's just amazing. Mental health is on the speaking table now. It's a huge need in many communities. And this is what you do as well. You can assist on mental health
Yeah.
because that's a distortion in the mental workings.
Hmm.
It's all energy. So really powerful work that you're doing. Thank you for that. Again, for those who are watching and listening, if you know people in your life that can benefit from a session from Barbara, if you have animals that can benefit from her, or if you yourself have something that needs a little assistance, you can see that that is some work that can be done. And it's pretty gentle, right? I mean, it's just, it doesn't seem like you don't have to go into the trauma so deeply that you relive the energy of it, although we will be feeling it, but this is the true alchemy of what you're doing. You are totally transmuting it. You're bringing the unconscious into conscious awareness, and that is huge
Yeah.
and really incredible and helpful for everyone. And everyone's different, so it's going to be unique for everyone. All
Yeah.
right. Well,
It's not traumatic. It's not like you'll, it's very gentle, it's very quick, and it's not traumatic. Like you have to go into the story. I'll say like what was happening at that age, and you'll remember, it'll click, but then you don't have to go into there and, you'll just want to say like, oh my God, this was or, but it's not like, you have to be living it, which is
yeah.
great. And it's amazing that it's so quick. It's so good.
And
Um,
I,
and
you
that we
can
can help so many people in this way is and animals and everything is fantastic. Like I just before this call, I was working on a horse, and I could just see, and it was like I'm online, and I could see, but I like had like the owner was showing me on the camera on her phone, the horse, and you could just see like the horse is all his like muscular
yeah,
system, the neck, everything just started. And this is like the more perceptive, but also that happens. The more you heal, the more perceptive you become. The more you're more sensitive, the more you're able to see all these differences because you're feeling the energy. You're starting to understand energy. So it was like
okay.
his home, all his muscular system, but also just the energy. He just relaxed. And this is a horse that has like tons of anxiety and like, was having like, when we started, he was like tense like this, and then it just like was completely relaxed and open. And
Wow.
like you could already tell it was, and that was moving, just certain emotions and traumas that he had from others, and you could just
Wow.
that's another, another being right there. It's like us too, you can tell straight away. You see somebody and you can see it, like they're super tense, or somebody that just like can breathe and relax, and then you also see life differently. If you're going life like super tense and whatever, then you're out for a fight, you're out for like you're vigilant, you're in a way attracting like quite intense situations to you. If you're relaxed and you're like smiling, probably people are going to be smiling back at you, which is what happens, so you're like always that's the timeline thing. You're creating your your whole universe on your own, and you create your own universe. So to choose good timelines, you have to be in this relax, release that which is creating you to be tense or creating you to be on the edges, and you allow for like, okay, your real self, which is this dense. And I understand it's hard to sustain this. It is a life's work to sustain this, especially in the collective reality we're living. Um,
Yeah.
but the stronger, the more we can hold this energy within ourselves, the more we do work, the stronger we are, the the better our life becomes.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Thank you. You have given us some powerful tools and things to ponder, and we're excited to watch for the triggers and deal with those triggers in a beautiful way. And again, if those who are watching need some extra facilitation with that, we implore you to get a personal session with Barbara. Okay, we have a few minutes. Let's take a few moments and do an energy transmission. I'm sure we can feel it. It doesn't have to be too long, but
Mhm.
let's do that. We are excited. Thank you.
Okay. So well, first of all, I want to thank everyone listening here. If you want to close your eyes, and you'll feel into your heart. You know if stepping into this healing journey is for you, if you want to take the next step, if working with me is for you, and I'm already feeling some of you stepping in, then this transmission is for everyone that's listening at whatever time and whatever space. So just relaxing into the energy. There's nothing to fear. You can just breathe in, relaxing deeper into your body. Aha mokoara tai mokokeara na kia koko makasiara na imokoya tera na ku makarasari nia koa kikara na koko makasara na. Breathing in to your heart. You might notice you might be able to breathe a bit more and your body starts getting relaxed. Ahima kore te ana koa koa re kikasura nai kokomakari ke ara no koa sira nai mo koa e kara no koa sara nai mo te ara ne. Just noticing at the space around your head and around your ears. Aho makara te ara no koa saranai mo koa re ke ara no koa ki ara saranai mo koa re te ara no koa saranai mo koa e ai. Breathing in to the heart again and just pushing all the energy that is not yours out of your system, out of your energy field, sending it back to wherever it came from and calling back all your energy back into the body. Ahema koa te ara no koa saranai mo koa te ara no koa I saranai mo koa te ara no koa masaranai mo te ara no koa ia koa sarana I mo kui karanai mo ko saranai mo to I karanea ko saranai mo. Remembering you're a part of this earth. The homakora tai mokoa kiara no koa saranai morokoa ikara imorokoa ikara na oko sarana. You bring the energy of the stars into this earth. Akoma karea sirana umakoarate. So anchoring into the earth. Ahoma keara tao ikara na isaranai morokoa itarana imorokoa. Breathing in deeper, breathing out, and relaxing into the body. Bringing all your energy down to your feet, feeling as their roots coming out of your feet into this earth. You're asked to ground into this earth, to bring your gifts, your energy here. Ahoma karatai moko saranai morotoko aranaku kasaranai morotoya kobra karaka ka 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 ka. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay. We thank you and we honor you. Just feeling this energy, noticing the space around your ears, around your eyes, around your head, and around your body if it feels lighter. Just with expanding awareness, noticing. If you feel more grounded, like you're more in your body, but there's more space around. More clarity. More purpose, more joy. And more intention to move forward with integrity. stepping into your next timeline. As this new you, moving in from the heart, from your whole system. More full. Thank you. More whole.
Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Lovely experience. I really feel clear, and I'm hoping that everyone is feeling that energy. It's our energy, it's us. And that was like a pushing out. So
Yeah.
we are clean and clear. And I'm feeling aligned and I'm feeling happy. That's my word, happy, happy. Thank you, Barbara.
And I'm feeling
It's
stronger, more powerful. Like, the more we ground into our body, so the more we heal, we ground into our body, we take the power, because energy is power. So we take our energy back. We're reclaiming our energy. We're taking our power. We become stronger. We choose with integrity. We start
yes.
shifting things for ourselves. We start tipping things for humanity. And that's the work. And it's beautiful.
It's what we came here to do,
Yeah.
and we're doing a great job. Everyone is doing a wonderful job. If it doesn't feel like that at times, it's okay. It's just an indicator of more work. Or let's call it play, energy play,
Yeah.
inner energy play.
It never finishes. It becomes more fun though when we take more responsibility. But it never finishes.
Okay, I'm kind of tired. No. Okay,
But it's
good.
fun. It's fun. It's beautiful.
It's
Because
fun.
then you realize that you are um realizing that you can create beautiful stuff.
Yes. And then witnessing when that beautiful stuff is created is the experience that becomes our truth, and it is a beautiful world. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final thoughts as we say goodbye, Barbara. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Okay. Everyone, thank you too for sharing in this light and for doing your work. And we invite you to work with Barbara. It's a beautiful experience. Thank you, Barbara. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you,
Namaste.
everyone. Love you.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.